Hello Canvas users, this is Marie Henderson. In this video, I'll be demonstrating how you can add a rubric to an assignment that you've already created. So this assignment on branches of U.S. government has already been created, and I'm ready to add a rubric to it, which will make it easier to grade and assign points to my students and give effective feedback to them as I am entering scores in SpeedGrader here in Canvas. So I'm going to click the plus rubric button here at the bottom. You can give your rubric a title. I'm just going to call mine standard rubric. The nice thing is we can use this rubric over and over again. You'll notice that there's an option here at the right to find a rubric. So once you've created one, you can use it as many times as you like on as many assignments as you like. So the first thing we need to do is give a description to our first criterion by clicking the pencil here in the box, and maybe this first one is on content. You can give as long a description as you like. So I'm going to click here to update criterion. If you click to give a range of scores, notice it changes from 5 points to 0 to 5 points, but that's not what I'm after for this one, so I'm going to uncheck that box. The default is for you to have 5 points at full marks and then 0 points at no marks. So I'm going to edit that. 5 points is fine, but I want this to say met all requirements. And again, you can give as much description as you like here in the box. So I'm going to update that rating, and I'm going to add another rating. I'm actually going to do 4 points, as I find that I most frequently just dock 1 point in a rubric setting as opposed to 2 or 3 points. So 4 points, and this is going to be met most requirements. And again, I can give a full rating description, and I'll update the rating. And I can continue on with adding as many different ratings as I plan to use. If you're not a person that actually gives all 5, 4, 3, 2s, and 1s, then you may not want to take the time to add each of those. Now you're ready to add an additional criterion. So right here is the plus criterion button. You can duplicate the criterion you've already created, which is nice because then it keeps the ratings that you gave earlier with their descriptions. And sometimes the criterion tend to be extremely similar, so that can save you some time when you're creating your rubric here. So I'm going to click on content to duplicate that, and I'm going to instead call this one grammar. Maybe I'm also grading for grammar, and I'm going to update the criterion. And the met all requirements and met most requirements works for me here as well. And I can continue on in this manner, adding as many points as I like. Since my original assignment had 10 points, it makes sense that the criteria for my rubric total up to 10 points. But you'll notice that if you add an additional criterion and duplicate one of these, maybe you're going to call it performance, and click update criterion, that this is now 15 points, and when you finish off the creation of the rubric, Canvas is going to give you a little error message. So I'm actually going to delete that for now. So I've got my 2 criteria, and I'm moving down here to my different options for the rubric itself. If you mark to write freeform comments, all of the comments that you've written up here for the points that you assigned go away. So I'm going to show you how that works. If I check the box, those things go away. And if I uncheck the box, they come back. The other option is to remove points from the rubric. So you can give feedback, but you don't actually have to assign a grade, which depending on the circumstances may be a feature you want to utilize. Next, you have don't post outcomes results to Learning Mastery Gradebook. Learning Mastery Gradebook is not currently something we use in 489, so you don't need to worry about this third one. But you definitely want to check this next one if you're planning to assign a score to this assignment. You want to use the rubric for the assignment grading, because then based on what you select when you're grading, it totals up the points for you and saves you some time as you work to give effective feedback to your students. So I'm going to click that box. When you do, the 5th one, hide score total for assessment results, goes away, because of course if you're using the rubric to get a final score, that final score will not be hidden. So we want to do this, and then we're going to click here to create the rubric. So now when I navigate over to SpeedGrader and my students' work loads here in the SpeedGrader app, I'll have the rubric available to me here at the right underneath the information about when my students submitted. So my student has submitted this file. I have all sorts of options. I can do a point annotation, I can highlight something, I can add a free text comment, I can strike through something in his or her work, and I can even draw on his or her paper, which is great with our touchscreen devices. But I want to expand the rubric over here, and I can drag this out so I can see more of it while I'm grading. And then if I just click in the box, it assigns points to my student. It totals them up here, and I can click Save, which then adds those points up and puts them in as her grade for this assignment. I still have a chance to add additional comments to help my student with her next steps, which I want to make sure that I then submit before moving on to the next student. All right, so that is creating and then grading with a rubric in Canvas. As always, if you have questions or need further assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you and have a great day.